Market fails to add cheer to the market. Friday fails to cheer to the market, and benchmark trades extremely flat near the 25,800 mark. Broad indices, however, hold on to the gains with support from IT and oil and gas stocks. Real estate, pharma lag.
Vodafone Idea soars after a communication from DoT on AGR dues, which will be frozen for the period of FY07 to FY19, with annual payments capped at 124 crores for 6 years. Remaining AGR dues will be paid annually between March 2036 and March 2041.
Alcon Engineering under pressure after a weak Q3 with profit down 33% despite modest revenue growth. EBITDA and margins slipped sharply due to weakness in the gear division, higher employee cost and adverse product mix.
Eternal is upbeat after Goldman Sachs maintains a buy with the target of 375, implying 33% upside. The recent correction is attributed to concerns over quick commerce slowdown, though Goldman Sachs believe multiple growth levers can offset competitive pressure.
The Electricity Appellate Tribunal is hearing the market coupling case after Indian Energy Exchange challenged the order on market coupling. CRC has told the tribunal that is open to withdrawing the order if directed. Appel has indicated that the case could close if the order is withdrawn. Hello and welcome. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now. I'm with you, Kavita Thapliyal. With me is my colleague Shrishti Sharma. And this is a show where in 1 hour we'll be focusing on your stock-specific questions. We'll be having experts on the show. We'll be answering your stock-specific queries live. And just in case you want to note down a WhatsApp number, you can note it down. This is a number where you need to send your stock's name, the price at which you've bought it, and the time frame till which you want to stay put in this particular counter. So that's the number flashing on your screen. It's 865-797-4571. That's a number where you have to send across your questions. The market is definitely not in a very great mood today. We can look at a range-bound movement. But then before that, we've got a few breaking news and updates for you that you should be knowing. And first comes the AMFI numbers, where there is a small bit that we've seen as far as the equity inflow is concerned. The net equity inflow as compared to November's number, which is 29,911, it has come down to 28,054. Total AUM has just gone down marginally to 80.23 lakh crore. Net outflow is almost at 66,590 crores on month basis. If we look at large cap inflow has gone down to 1567 crores as compared to 1639 crores in November. Small cap again, we are looking at a dip, 3823 crores as compared to 44,009 crores. So we have to understand that December a month where we also saw volatility and there was also low volume on the markets, which is clearly reflecting on the numbers. We are still waiting for the SIP numbers to come, and that will give us a clear picture on the retail investors front. But definitely across all the boards, you can see whether it is small cap category, mid cap category, or it is the large cap category. In fact, a slight uptick in gold ETF and sectoral thematic funds we have to look at. We should also look at the hybrid numbers. We should also look at multi-asset category, which was really doing well. And when we talk about equity allocation, it's very important to even consider the multi-asset allocation category, because over there you have an exposure in equity, you have an exposure in debt, and also in commodities, which is gold and silver. And the numbers that you are looking at is specifically reflecting the inflow even in the multi-cap category. So clearly on the small cap front, the numbers are marginally low, 3823 crores, mid cap is 4175, and dividend yield fund is 254 crores. So a slight dip on all the fronts, we can say, except for liquid fund outflow also has gone up to 47,307 crores. Month-on-month basis, I think even this is a very huge number. And gold ETF funds, definitely look at the prices movement going up. It's 11,646 crores as compared to 3741 crores on month-on-month basis. Again, influence sectoral and thematic funds have gone down considerably. It has come down at 945 crores from 1864. So this is also showing an investor trend where there is a lot of cautious approach we can see the investors taking up. Look at the corporate fund outflow. It is at 7,419 crores versus 1525. Even the ALSS outflow has gone beyond 700 crores, which is from 570 crores. It's really up. So what does it actually shows? It shows that investors are playing much more safer, and they are not, they are in fact rebalancing or repositioning their portfolio. A lot of experts might say that there is nothing much to read in it, but then yes, a trend that we can see as far as investors are concerned, they're turning more cautious in their direct equity investments, which is in large cap, small cap, and mid cap. So, Srishti, the AMFI picture, we are yet waiting for the SIP numbers. I think that will be a headline once that number comes, because it was marginally up in November, but then in December, looking at these pictures, we really will get a clear takeaway once the SIP number comes, and definitely on ET Now, you'll be getting a complete update and a picture on that. But Srishti, AMFI numbers marginally low, but then it's not a mood dampener. That's all we can say.
But yes, Kavita, the markets have been trending lower for the past couple of days, and even today, with the kind of AMFI data that we have, they are not able to get back some cheer in the markets as of now. Nifty as well as Nifty Bank are trading at the day's lowest point or very near to those numbers. But the key to watch, like you mentioned, will be the SIP data. So we'll wait by for that. But meanwhile, onto the Buy Now, Sell Now show. Let's get started with all your stock-related queries, because viewers, you can connect with us live on the WhatsApp number that will be flashing on the top of your screen throughout the next 1 hour. Tell us your name, the stock that you have invested in, the stock you wish to invest in. Tell us the location where you are writing us from, and we'll try to take as many queries as possible indeed, like always. And during the show, we'll also get some of the live callers with us. So let's get started. But before that, let me welcome two of our very special guests who are going to be joining to guide you the best way possible. We have Kunal Bothra with us, as well as Astha Jain is also joining us on the show. A very good morning to both of you, and thank you so much for your time. And let's get started with the first query. This one is coming in from Sanjay from Thane. And Kunal, let me take it from you, because he's been holding the shares of Nalco. 500 shares, and his buy price is 95 rupees. I believe that he's already sitting at a very handsome profit. What's your take, Kunal, on this one? Good time to book out some profits given the volatility in the metal counters of late?
Good morning, Srishti. Good morning, everyone. So yes, I believe it's a good time to try and book at least partial profits, if not full profits, on your investments if you purchase at much lower levels. Because right now that could be a zone where the stock may come back into some bit of volatility. What's happened is over the last few weeks, where the price uptrend has been quite steep for many of these metal counters, the indicators have come back into a deep overbought territory. And that, I believe, may indicate that we are looking at a point where the stock prices may see some bit of selling pressure, some bit of resistances at current levels. So that's why I would believe that it's a good zone where you can look to start booking out profits.
All right, that's the level at which you can book your profits. Astha, any take from your side?
Yeah, first of all, good morning to everyone. Good morning, Kavita. Good morning, Srishti. Nice to see you after so long. So now talking about Nalco, yes, what we believe that right now the kind of flow which is going on in the or a news flow which is going on in the metal sector as a whole, I think that is really helping Nalco in gaining a strong traction in the market. Right now, my stand is just book partial profit from this counter in case if profits are there, and remain invested in the partial quantity, because over the period of a time we are expecting metal prices to again move ahead, and definitely will help Nalco in showing some strong momentum going ahead.
All right, that's the take coming in on Nalco. Let's watch out for that. It's a fundamental as well as technical take given by our experts. The next query that I have, Astha, is coming in on Hitachi Energy, because of late the stock is been in focus on the back of the whole news flow regarding whether or not the Chinese company will be allowed in India to bid for certain projects, wherein Rohan from Pune is holding 45 shares. His buy price is 18,000 rupees. What's your take for the long term? Can he go ahead and add more at current levels?
So, if I talk about Hitachi Energy, it was established way back in 2019 and it manufactures a range of product across the power grids value chain. Now, talking about the kind of news flow which is going on, I think Hitachi in itself has showing a very, very strong performance on the fundamental side because the revenue growth which they have shown, it was very strong due to during the quarter, that is the quarter gone by Q2 of FY26, and there was a reason behind it, high execution rate, there was a better product mix and operational efficiencies. All these factors have helped the Itachi in posting stock side of a number. Apart from this, what I believe that the strong order backlog which this company is having, and in fact, not only order backlog, they have got some very high margin orders in their product portfolio. And I think all these definitely help the company in posting strong side of a number. So despite the kind of news flow, my idea here is to stay invested in this counter because we believe that this counter is well poised to move beyond 20,000 level. So idea here is to hold. Maybe in the short term, we may see some sort of hiccups in the stock prices on the basis of the news flow, but in the long term, on the basis of a strong fundamentals, the stock is well poised to move beyond 20,000 levels.
All right, so recommendation is for a hold, and fundamentals are really strong, and the stock will go beyond 20,000. That's the take coming in from Masta. But then we also have a live viewer joining us, Mr. Balaji. Hi, good morning, sir. You're calling from?
I'm calling from Tamil Nadu, Arilur district. Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
I am a retired,
Got it, sir. Okay.
retired man.
Okay.
I have two queries.
Sure.
First of all, good morning. Thanks for this. I am watching regularly.
Okay.
Thanks for calling me.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good morning to Mr. Gunal and the madam. I have two queries. I ask one by one. I am having 2,000 shares of IRB Infra Development Limited.
Okay,
I
IRB.
bought at the I bought at the price of 42.65. 42.65.
Okay.
Should I add more or I am now I am little bit lost.
Got it. Okay. This is for short term, for a couple of months. You had bought it at 42.65, sir.
I average it to 42.65, madam.
What's the
I
time
have to
frame?
hold for long time. Shall I hold for long time or add some more shares in that
Got it.
IRB Infra?
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
I will ask another query after finishing this.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
All right, all right. Request you to just stay hold on to the call then. Astha, I'll come to you. It's a long term, 42.65. Can you add more?
Yes, but at the lower level. Now, if I talk about the fundamental seems to be quite okay because now the government is focusing more on the BOT and TOT project. So how this will help the company? This will help the company in giving strong opportunities in these projects. Apart from this, what I believe that the kind of opportunity this company is facing and some of the order book, in fact, the order book flow is very, very strong for this company. So I believe that this is a very good long-term portfolio stock, and this can move till the level of 50 to 52 in the long term. So stay invested in this counter with a price target of 50 to 52.
All right. Mr. Balaji, 50 to 52 is the target, and it's a hold from Astha. Next question, sir.
Next question is that Mag Money Organics Limited, MOL.
Okay.
I am having 900 shares at the price of 68 rupees 54 paise. 68 rupees 54 paise. MOL, Mag Money Organics Limited.
Yeah, got it. Okay. 68.54. Again, a long term hold, sir?
Yeah, I want to hold for a long time. Now the share is getting, the share is trading at the price of 60 rupees, 60
Right.
paise around
Right.
today.
Right.
Shall I add more in that stake?
Sure.
Or hold for a long time, wait for my getting out of my loss, wait for the
Sure.
profit.
We'll
Yeah.
get you all the fundamentals. Yeah. Astha?
Yeah.
Yes, now talking about Make Money Organics, I would believe that this counter is such that one should remain invested in this counter at least till the results arrive. Because what we believe that in the Q2 also, what we have seen, the performance was quite okay on the top line as well as operating profit front. Because as far as I remember, top line growth was muted at around 5% growth, but operating profit and the net profit were have shown a very, very strong growth of around more than 40%. So in the past also what we have seen that their crop protection business, which constitute almost 79% of their business, and I mean, 79% of the overall revenue. So there we have seen a very, very strong growth. Along with that, pigment segment, which constitute the remaining part of the revenue, is also showing very strong growth. So, sir, idea here is to stay invested in this counter, at least for the numbers of Q3 FY26. We should wait for those numbers to arrive in and then make any decision. Right now, even I'm not recommending to average this counter, because what I believe, looking up to the market condition, that we can see some more downside from here. So averaging at the current point is not recommended. Maybe averaging at a level of around 57, 58 is a better choice.
All right, that's the take coming in on select chemical and related counters. But with this, viewers, it's time now to slip into a very short break. But before we do that, the US Commerce Secretary says that the trade negotiations with India stalled after Narendra Modi did not directly engage Donald Trump, calling the deal Trump's to close. Now, the US then moved ahead with Indonesia, Vietnam, and the Philippines striking deals at higher rates, leaving India trying to re-enter talks after others were already finalized. Let's listen into that.
Contracts and set the whole deal up. But let's be clear. It's his deal.
Yeah.
Okay? He's the closer. He does the deal. So I said, you got to have Modi. It's all set up. You have to have Modi call the president. And they were uncomfortable doing it. So Modi didn't call.
Wow.
So that Friday left. In the middle of the next week, we did Indonesia, the Philippines, right? Vietnam. We announced a whole bunch of deals.
Malaysia in that period.
So we did these whole bunch of deals. So that's like.
That staircase.
And they were and because we negotiated them and assumed India was going to be done before them, I had negotiated them at a higher rate. So now the problem is the deals came out at a higher rate.
Right.
And then India calls back and says, oh, okay, we're ready. I said, ready for what?
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now, and once again there's a breaking, and AMFI SIP numbers have just hit the screen, and yes, it is an all-time high. We have crossed 30,000. In fact, the numbers are at 31,002 crores in December. So the inflow across all the equity classes, we are looking at a dip, but then look at the SIP numbers and retail investors take a bow. I think it is a fantastic participation number that we are looking at as far as SIPs are concerned. Yes, there is also a concern on SIP stoppages, but then those reasons are different. And this is the gross SIP number that you are looking at in terms of inflow, which has for the first time crossed 30,000. And in fact, it is at 31,002 crores in the month of December. There was a slight dip in November that we saw, but then once again, the participation increased. And there is a dip in inflow as far as small cap funds are concerned, large cap and other categories. The outflow numbers are really big across categories, but then look at the SIP numbers and the trajectory that you are seeing on the screen as well. It is just going up, and 31,002 crores coming in from the retail investors via SIP. So definitely SIP, the way people have understood mutual funds is definitely via SIP, and this number is, this participation is coming more stronger from the B30 towns. We are looking at small towns, we are looking at mid-tier towns where people are investing through digital apps, through online mediums, lot of direct schemes which investors are buying. It is a one-click SIP and a one-click exit too, and that is also a concern. The stickiness is really under question, but then the inflow is really intact, and month on month we are looking at these numbers going up, and it has touched a high in December. So we can say in a nutshell, for SIP investors, 2025 has been a blockbuster, and the way it has ended, 31,002 crores number coming from AMFI. We will dissect this further, but then let's just take you back on the numbers which are coming across categories in small cap, mid cap, especially in gold ETF. That inflow has really gone up very high. It's crossed 11,000 crores, which is a very huge number. Definitely the impact of gold prices that we are looking at, investors also playing it well in their portfolio. And again, the participation coming in from multi-asset category, which has been doing well. In fact, in large cap categories also, we saw flexi cap doing comparatively better. Flexi cap largely is a large cap fund because they have a larger exposure of large cap, but that has been under spotlight since a long time, and along with that we have multi-asset allocation funds. But mid cap and small caps did well in November, and there is a slight dip in mid cap funds, 4175 crores in December, and small cap again 3823. But then this is something which we should not consider as a dampener, or we should not look at investor sentiments going weak, because look at the SIP numbers which are going on high, and for the first time has crossed 30,000 crores as well. So the conviction on the market is really intact. The sentiments is slightly cautious over here, but the investor interest is intact in equity markets. And somewhere down the line, investors have understood that long-term trajectory really plays well, and for that, SIP is the best way to enter the markets.
Absolutely, absolutely, Kavita, and the kind of numbers that we are getting to see is definitely building on to the confidence in market. So that's the key number that we are tracking. But with this, we are amidst the earnings season, and yes, the Q3 earnings season has started with the companies coming out with their updates. And let's now focus on transformers and rectifiers. The company did come out with its earnings. Seems like a very good set by the company this time around, sequential as well as on a YOY basis. We have seen a jump, but there's a management rejig as well. So we'll talk on all of that. And for this, let me welcome Mr. Satyanjan Mamtora, who is the Managing Director of Transformers and Rectifiers. A very good morning, and thank you so much for your time, sir. And firstly, congratulations on taking the role of CEO as well. But before we start understanding more on what you will be targeting to take the company's progress going ahead, firstly, onto the numbers. This time around, we have seen a very good set coming in by you, indeed. But first, take us through what led to this sort of a significant improvement in the numbers that we have already seen. And I believe that you did mention in your con call that the supply chain issues from Q2 have been resolved now. So what's the latest update there?
My CEO position now. Q3 and Q4 was better because we had the issues that we had faced with regards to the bushing deliveries and the CTC deliveries. We have mitigated them, and now we are, we are fully prepared for the Q4, where we should be touching about 2,600 crores of turnover revenue.
All right, that's good to hear. But you did mention in your con call that inquiry pipeline is quite very strong right now. If you can give us some more sense that what exactly it is looking like from private and government players, what are you envisaging at this point in time, and how do you plan to take your overall order book number ahead and expand that in the times ahead?
So our current UEOB is at around 5,500 crores. And around 16,000 crores inquiries, tenders have been quoted. We should be closing our year at around 8,000 crores of UEOB.
All right, we've also seen a sharp swing in inventory of finished goods. While you secured inventory for FY26, does this build-up suggest that some high-value dispatches scheduled for Q3 were pushed to Q4 due to site readiness or logistics?
That happened in Q2, but Q3 we had some issues, but all of them have been mitigated, and we are well prepared for Q4 now.
All right, but along with that, now let's talk about your outlook because you have maintained your guidance for FY26, we believe, at 25% revenue growth and 16% EBITDA margin, which is marginally lower than what we saw back in Q3. Are you being conservative, or could Q4 could be one of those standout quarters since execution pace could pick up for you?
No, so if you look at the quarter three and the 9 months, quarter three has been very good, and we should do around 2,600 crores in Q4. Means we should touch year end by 2,600 crores.
Right, Satyan, now you're taking up this role of a CEO. We just want to understand, the company is scaling towards 2,600 crore revenue target. Tell us if this was a planned transition and how can we decode this?
So it wasn't a planned transition, but I've taken up the role, and we are trying to move forward with this.
Indeed, but the markets, Satyan, will need a bit more clarity on what could be in the annual, because now you will be taking the role of CEO as well. So going ahead, what could be the key growth levers for the company? Any set or immediate targets that you will be working on?
Currently, we are working on operational excellence. We need to prepare ourselves for the next year. Our target for next year is close to about 3,700 crores plus. So we are, Q4 is almost planned already. So we have started working on next year's targets and achieving 3,700 crores plus.
All right. Lastly, recent reports suggest the finance ministry may scrap curbs on Chinese firms for government contracts. Now, given the Chinese manufacturers are globally dominant in large-scale transformers, do you plan to protect your domestic order book if these players re-enter with 20% lower pricing?
I don't think India would let Chinese firms import transformers. There is only one Chinese firm who is manufacturing transformers in India. And they are also pretty much booked for the next 18 months. So I don't see.
So that was an important clarification, or rather a take coming in from the management of transformers and rectifiers, that he don't see that the Chinese companies will enter in a big way right now in the Indian markets, because yes, of course, the markets, especially in the cap goods space, they have been a bit under pressure on the back of the news flow that how Chinese companies, if at all, they will be allowed to enter and bid for the Indian projects, and in which manner, in which segments that they will be allowed. So definitely that was the key word coming in from the management of transformers and rectifiers. But with these fears, it's time now to slip into a very short break in this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. Don't go anywhere. As we come right back, we will get back to all your stock related queries.
December mutual fund data shows equity inflows softened, while debt and equity funds saw sharp outflows. Overall, the funds saw outflows due to advanced tax outgo in the month. ETF and gold ETF inflows surged, even as total industry AUM slipped marginally.
The Bharat Coking Coal IPO already fully subscribed on the first day, priced in at 21 to 23 rupees band. The issue is the pure OFS, with Coal India also powering its stake. Anchor investors include LIC, Nippon India, Bandhan and UTI Mutual Fund, providing early institutional support.
let's get back to the AMFI numbers where once again there is a record inflow coming in from the SIP numbers. It's clocked 31,002 crores and for the first time it's a record high again beyond 30,000 crores, and this is the December numbers that we are talking about. And otherwise across equity we are seeing a marginally dip number. We talk about equity inflows and specific inflows in equity funds. But then let's dissect these numbers and let's look at the overall trend that's been witnessed from the retail investors. We are joined by Mr. Ovis Bakshi, Head Retail Sales, Kotak Mahindra AMC. Ovis, hi, morning and welcome to the show. This was much expected, but then look at the SIP numbers. I think this is a surprise or it is not. What would you say?
Good morning and thanks for having me on the show. Actually, if you look at the November numbers, had seen a dip in the previous month. That was on account of holiday being on 29th and 30th of the month. And since those numbers got pushed into this month, that's why you've seen a bigger jump of more than 5% growth in this specific month. But actually, that was a number which got missed in the month of November and got captured in the month of December. So I would say like the growth is more in line with expectations that we have rather than a higher growth that is visible in the numbers.
Indeed, but Mr. Bakshi, 31,000 and above is
Right.
the SIP number that we have seen, and this is the first number that we are getting to see. Yes, of course, it's a backdated number, but for this year, 2026, that's the first number that we are starting with. So, how do you see the trajectory going ahead? Because from 29,000, we sort of thought that 30,000 could be the milestone, but it has surpassed that as well. Which is the next milestone you believe that the markets will be looking out for in 2026?
So clearly, investors have showed faith and they've seen like the benefits of SIP reaping big time in terms of creating wealth. When we began this year, obviously the number was close to 26,000 crores at the beginning of this financial year, which is now at about 31,000 crores. So every single month, investors have come back and move towards creating more investment related portfolios. This is nothing but financialization of savings that we are witnessing in our country. And we believe that this trend will continue to gain momentum and more investors would keep coming to mutual funds. In fact, SIP investors have benefited at the cost of volatility in equity markets. They've clearly seen the benefits of investing when markets are going down, and they accumulating more units rather than being at a loss. So we believe that clearly the trend will continue to be in the positive territory and the SIP number will continue to scale newer heights as more and more investors join the fold.
Ovis, let's also look at overall equity inflow. And when I'm talking about overall equity inflow, I want you to explain our viewers separate categories inflow in funds and also the category of small cap and mid cap, which we saw in the previous month. It was higher. We saw the interest coming back. And again, this month, it's a marginal dip though, but then still we can see the numbers going down, be it large cap, mid cap or small cap. But what's the status with multi-asset category and gold ETF once again are shining?
So you're absolutely right. When we look at the net sales number, the net sales numbers are around 28,000 crores. And when we further dissect that number and look at where the money flow is, the highest flow within equity as a basket has come in flexi cap as a category. So clearly investors vis-a-vis the previous year where the tilt was more towards mid and small caps, the volatility in that segment of the market has been higher, and most of the fund houses also have been advocating investments more towards funds which are more large cap oriented. So very clearly right through this year, since large caps have outperformed mid and small caps, the flow is more tilted towards flexi cap as a category. So out of 28,000 crores of inflow this month, 10,000 crores has come in flexi cap fund, and mid cap funds are at about 4,000 crores. Large and mid cap funds are at 4,000 crores, and small cap funds are at 3,800 crores. Clearly, investors have witnessed a lot of volatility in small cap as a segment, and owing to that volatility, the flows in small cap as a segment has relatively slowed down. On the same side, what has happened is that commodities, especially gold and silver, have done very well in this financial year. And when you look at multi-asset allocation funds, they invest in equity, debt, and commodities as well. These this category specifically has outperformed most of the other categories in last 1 year and especially in last 6 months as well. So the investor interest is fairly high as they get exposure into commodities as well through these funds. So multi-asset allocation fund inflows, in fact, are at an year high of about 7,500 crores in this month. Even when it comes to gold funds and gold ETFs, we've witnessed very high interest from investors, and the unit creation is gaining momentum every single month.
All right, and Mr. Bakshi, quickly, if I can have your word on the NFOs as well. How do you see more NFOs, and what's the visibility on NFOs for the upcoming months, and what sort of an inflow and interest are we gathering right now?
Uh, so what has happened is, like last year, there was a record inflow in new fund offers, and a lot of new fund houses had come, and they were trying to establish business in India. So they were filling up the gaps as far as SEBI categorization is concerned, whereas like most of the large fund houses have already fulfilled the SEBI categorization of funds that are allowed to be launched. Uh, so most of the funds which came last year were more sectoral and thematic in nature, and wherein there was a larger degree of volatility. This year, obviously, like funds that are there, the NFO momentum has been relatively slow, more to do with most of the funds have already been launched, and thematic ideas are not gaining as much momentum as they were in the previous year.
All right, with this, Ms. Bakshi, we let you go. So good having you on the channel today. Thank you so much for your time, and definitely helping us decode what this SIP number and the outlook going ahead really means. But yes, the AMFI data is definitely making an impact on the markets. But the other big story for today remains to be what happens to the trade deal with India. Because yes, of course, very interesting comments coming in from Lutnick, where he says that let's be clear, it's Trump's deal. He's closer, he does it, he has all set up. And yes, of course, the kind of conversations between Prime Minister and Narendra Modi have been having is not enough. But yes, that is something that could still be in works. For this, we are being joined by Mr. S.C. Ralhan, who is the President, Federation of Indian Export Organizations, joining us on the show. Mr. Ralhan, everybody has been waiting out for the outcome for India and US trade deal. With the fresh comments coming in from Lutnick, what does it really mean to you, and how should one really decode the comments right now? Because the latest that we know is that maybe by March, that was the expectation from November earlier. But I think that the day is just getting postponed.
Today, I was just reading a newspaper. India is not in a hurry to sign the PTA with US. But today, there is a Supreme Court ruling in US. I wish all the exporters of the country wish that the court declares it illegal.
All right, Mr. Ralhan, just hypothetically assume that the Supreme Court's decision comes in favor. Now then what happens? India's negotiation power goes down because the trade deals that have already been signed, they'll be considered lucky. If something comes in favor of Trump, how will it impact?
India's power is not down. Actually, the US is screwing us. I mean, they are putting a lot of pressure on all the items. So that is one of the reasons the BTA is being delayed.
Indeed, but Mr. Ralhan, everybody is just waiting out for the month that it can hit in, because in the fresh commentary, it's from 500 tariff threat because India's relation with Russia. What are your thoughts on the same?
Actually, he talks too much. I mean, he's an unpredictable person. He may or may not put the 500%, because I have not heard any 500% tariff on any of in the world. But I mean, why he is saying that it's big question, and nobody can understand why he is doing that.
All right, Mr. Alhan, thank you so much for taking time out and speaking to ET Now today. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, with that, it's time for a short break, and Kunal and Astha are with us live. We'll take a short break and post that again, viewer query session.
Welcome back to Buy Now, Sell Now show, where we get you answers for all your stock-related queries. There have been so many breaking, so for that we had to go to our special guest. But let's get back to your queries that you have been sending us all throughout. And now on the show, we have our live caller with us as well. Even Kunal as well as Astha has been waiting by patiently, so thank you so much for that. But we have Mr. P. Rajesh on the phone line. Mr. Rajesh, very good morning and thank you so much for joining in. Please go ahead and ask your query.
Yeah, very good morning. See, I am holding the Swiggy at the rate of 405, 250 numbers. Suddenly it is gone down up to 357 or 358 like that. Shall I hold it or shall I sell it? Or what is your suggestion? Should I keep for long term or should I keep for long term?
All right, Astha, you heard his query, 250 shares of Swiggy at a price of 405 rupees. Well, of course, we know that what's been happening within the quick commerce space, both the stocks and both the leaders are correcting indeed. But what exactly with Swiggy should he do right now?
So in Swiggy, I think he should hold the counter because what we have seen that their gross order value, first of all, in the food delivery segment has grown and it has grown to good 22%. In fact, in the quick commerce business also, we have seen GOV is growing. So I mean, the company is showing growth in its GOV and that indicates some sort of a market share gain also. Although the news flow, which is currently flowing down the counter, is definitely not in a very positive frame, but I think going ahead this counter is again is again can move till the level of 400, so it is ready again to move till those levels and where the investor has bought the counter. So idea here is to stay invested. Maybe it will take 3 to 6 months right now, but stay invested in this counter and definitely we can see the cost price coming in of 400 and above.
All right, so stay invested, 3 to 6 months time frame for the prices to go up. Rajesh, is there anything else you want to ask? Rajesh, can you hear us? Okay, I think the call is dropped, but then let's move on. We also have questions coming in on our WhatsApp, and this is from Nitin. Kunal, I'll come to you. Nitin wants to know about Union Bank. He bought at 165, 4,600 shares, short-term outlook.
So far, the stock looks attractive, but what's happened is with the markets changing texture, it's bound to be a point where Union Bank will also go into a corrective phase. So I would suggest that you start looking at booking profits over here on the short term and wait for a sizable correction to try and enter into the stock back again.
All right, so that's the take coming in on Union Bank of India. Definitely, let's watch out for that. But we have our international caller as well on the phone line. We have Mr. Pramod joining us from all the way from New Zealand. Hi, Mr. Pramod. Good to be speaking with you. Please go on and ask your query.
Yeah, well, I got a BEL and 400, bought it at around 380. So I just want to know the outlook for next 3 to 6 months. And I also have a Tata Motor PV, around 500 shares, bought at, in the demergers. So probably the lending cost was 400 plus. So I just want to know the view of 3 to 6 month period of Tata Motors passenger vehicle.
All right, so two large cap names that he has in his portfolio. Kunal, firstly, what's your take on BEL? Where do you see the stock headed? And he also has 500 shares of Tata Motors. What's your take here for the next 3 to 4 months?
See, I think both these stocks are, I would say, a hold from my side. Now, yes, Tata Motors PV has been an underperformer, BEL, on the other hand, has been a class outperformer from the entire defense pack. But I believe that both of these stocks would get back into their own zone of outperformance. For example, BEL, I think I would probably expect the stock to head towards even 430 to 450 mark in the short term. And if the market and the sentiment of the market improves, then you might expect the stock to even try and come back towards a fresh lifetime high. So if timing is not an issue, I would suggest to hold on to BEL. Even for Tata Motors PV, yes, the stock has been an underperformer. There's been tough issues for Tata Motors PV as such over the last 12 and a half, odd months. But I believe that the worst seems to be getting priced into the stock price, and I sense that the stock at 350 odd levels is just about going through a time-wise consolidation. So that also I believe could probably see a strong uptick. And if you look at this over the next 12 to 18 months, then I would believe that there could be a phase where the stock may play a very strong catch-up. Even if there is a catch-up trade, say for the next 12 to 18 months, I would expect at least 400 to 450 kind of a target range for Tata Motors PV. So I'll suggest a hold on both of these names.
All right, so if timing is not a concern, then maybe you can hold it for long. Mr. Pramod, are you there on the phone line with us?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Good to be connecting. But then with that, it's a wrap on the on Buy Now, Sell Now also. And thank you so much, both of you, for taking your time out and helping our viewers strategizing their stock buys today. Thank you. And with that, it's a wrap on Buy Now, Sell Now. But then after this break, we'll get you Market Set Noon. Stay tuned.